Welcome in, everyone, to Andrew Makes You Money, the show where Andrew makes some picks and he helps you make some money. So welcome in to another episode. I am your host, Uncle Neely, and this is my nephew Andrew, and we have a great show for you today. This week's show, as always, sponsored by AgriFeed Pet Supply, located in Knoxville, Tennessee, and also at www.agrifeedpetsupply.com, the only place to go for all your pet supply needs. Let's go over the disclaimer, nephew. Tell the folks what they need to know before we get started.
Yep. Again, we'll start by saying this is for entertainment purposes only. You're probably not making money unless you just started watching the show last week and our first positive record for the week. What were we? We were 5-4 for the week, winning record. So that's good.
It was a great week. Yep. George put us over the hump. Way to go, George.
Sure did. That was what pushed us over. You are correct. So we're gonna try to build some momentum. The overall record 17-31, not good, but we have a winning record and we're gonna build on it this week.
Awesome. All right. So this week's we do not have a fan of the week, but we have a sponsor for the fan of the week segment, and that is Dustin Dove Coffee Roasting, the Dovebird Coffee Roasting Company. And you can pick up your Dovebird coffee. We're going to put a link in the description to Dovebird Coffee Roasters where you can pick up the Andrew Makes You Money coffee roast. And I know that you're all going to want to do that, but we don't have a fan of the week. And so we'll just say that Dustin Dove is the two-time fan of.
He's the reigning fan of the week.
Because he's sponsoring the segment. So there you go. All right, let's go to our under. We have first under on the slate for today is Iowa at Minnesota, like 32.5 points. Will anybody score in this game? That is the question.
Yeah, probably not. So here's I know what you're saying. 32.5, nephew, that's an impossible number.
That's a low number.
Score, right? Yeah, they both have terrible offenses. We don't have any wide receivers. They don't have anybody who plays offense, I think, right? Like not even that side of the ball. So you're saying 32.5. That's an impossible number for it to go under. Here's what I would say to you. I got some stats this week, all right?
Okay.
Since 2012, there have been 16 of these types of games where I have a spread of 3.5 or less and a total of, I forget what the exact window is, but fitting in this, right? So the spread and type total. 16 games. The under is 11-5. That is 69%. So
let's go under.
I know both of these teams. Minnesota has conservative offense, if you want to be generous, right? Iowa doesn't have an offense at all. They'll probably score $1 billion against Minnesota because I'm saying it, but I'll take the under on this. They both have two very good defenses. Iowa actually has the special teams. Minnesota doesn't. So Iowa's probably going to pin Minnesota inside the 10 at least twice. We'll see. But yeah, I think points are going to be at a premium here.
Yeah. Minnesota still thinks that you have to paddle to get around on water instead of using a motor. I'm not sure why you don't want to use a motor up there, Minnesota. Like you don't have to paddle. Like an oar is not necessary in a boat anymore. Like you can, there's motors.
You know that I've been frustrated at best for the season, right? But I've told you, I've been talking about it. Minnesota still has a chance in the Big Ten West.
Yeah,
and they have to win this one. So let's
Hope
roll the boat.
Remains alive. All right, our next under is going to be South Alabama at Southern Mississippi, 46.5.
Yep. Part of this is going back to the well of nobody's watching this game. Just bet the under. Like, don't worry about it. I know that thought process is 0-2 in the last 2 weeks, but again, I got stats for you. This has a larger sample size. I can't do the math in my head, but the record is 118, 80-2 since 2012 for this spread and total type. That's 60%. Not as good as 69, but a larger sample size and still positive. So we'll take the under 46.5 with these two.
Very nice. All right, let's move to our overs. First up, Georgia and Kentucky, 49.5 over.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about this one, but maybe that's good, right? If I'm taking something I'm not necessarily comfortable with, my betting record shows that. Again, this is the weakest stats. We got more stats. 91, 62-1 on the over for this spread and total type. That's 59%, decent sample size. So we'll take the over 49.5 with Georgia and Kentucky.
All right. And now we're going way out west, Utah at Oregon, 61.5.
So this goes into the part where I don't necessarily have stats, but I'm trying to at least like this week is a weird week of college football where the biggest games are Pac-12. So I'm trying to fit these in. I don't know, there's not a whole lot of exciting games, but these are. So looking at the big games, what do I like? Where can we kind of place them in? This one, take the over. I don't know. Like I know I'm betting it over with Bo Nix in the game, but like I don't know, maybe over. So I'm less confident on this one, but I got the over here.
All right. Betting the over with Bo Nix involved in the game. That seems not wise. But
I know.
Speaking of not wise, we are now going to go to our best and favorite, and everybody just loves this segment. It's the Bless Their Hearts segment. It's the highlight of the show every week, and this is sponsored by Strategic Coaching. Are you a college student just struggling with ADHD? Is life not just going the way you had envisioned? Strategic Connections Coaching, they can help you. You can go to strategicconnectionsadhd.com for some help, and you can get help, and they've sponsored this segment every week, and it's the best one. So Kyla, way out there in Nacogdoches for not much longer, y'all. This is exciting. Kyla's getting ready to leave Nacogdoches soon. Is going to come to us, and next week she'll be able to come to us straight from Stephenville. So this is super exciting. So anyway, Kyla, take it away and give us your Bless Their Hearts of the week.
Hi everyone! This week's Bless Your Heart is a bit of a departure from our normal football-related call-outs. Everyone, grab your coats and put on your hats because it's time we turn our judgment upon hockey, that coldest of sports. The New York Rangers, to be specific, and their winger Vitaly Kravtsov. Kravtsov was once a first-round pick, and he has now undergone a Looney Tunes sequence of events that has left him with very little playing time this season. Let's take a deeper look on what's happened to him so far. Okay, so 3 shifts into the Rangers' season-opening game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, a defenseman knocked Kravtsov's head into the boards, and he was sidelined for 4 games. I assume it looked something like this. Then, he was sidelined again after suffering another upper body injury from a Colorado Avalanche player, like this. Mind you, we're still in the first 6 games of this season, and this man has gotten to play twice. A Dallas Star player once again crushed him into the boards on the 29th, sidelining him yet again, like this. And he missed the team's last 2 games due to the flu and an infected tooth. Like this. So, long story short, yeah, it's been a bit of a rough season for Kravtsov, and people are being hard on him, but I kind of get it. I mean, if I was getting concussions every single time I stepped out my front door, I also wouldn't be performing my best. I've seen some fans speculate about the reason why Kravtsov is having such a rough time this season, and the couple of reasons that they've said is like, oh, well, he got his start in the Continental Hockey League in Russia, where the ice surface is genuinely a little wider than what he's been provided with in the NHL. But if that's the case, how can he adjust to playing with less space if he's just constantly unable to play? It's beginning to be, like, a little absurd. Other fans seem to believe that the winger has been cursed. Whoever placed a voodoo spell on Vitaly Kravtsov, I would like it removed. Thanks, says Twitter user Snags. I wonder if this is how he gets out of all of his conflicts. Like, his girlfriend is like, why are you afraid of commitment? And he's like, unfortunately, I have concussion again. Thursday, the day that I'm filming this, Kravtsov and the Rangers will be going up against the Seattle Krakens. If he really is cursed, I hope the Rangers will band together and find a way to lift it soon. Maybe there's like a magic ring they can toss into a volcano or something. I don't know. Anyway, the curse needs to be lifted soon, because if Kretsov manages to hobble feebly into the rink this week, I have a sinking suspicion it's going to look something like this.
Kyla going hockey. Did not see that one coming. Thanks, Kyla, as always. That was fantastic. Let's go to our underdogs, nephew. We've got Illinois plus 18 at the Khaki Pants. Man, Michigan and Jim Harbaugh. What you got here? Illinois. How in the world are you going with Illinois as an 18-point underdog? You think they're covering 18?
I know. So, again, part of it is I need Michigan to beat Illinois for the Big Ten West dream for Minnesota to stay alive. Yes, it feels like Illinois is running out of gas, right? They were good at the start of the season, and it feels like they're fading. They've given Chase Brown an insane number of attempts, and he's touched the ball so many times. And he got hurt late in the game last week, so hopefully he's healthy. I don't know, but they're a good, stingy defensive team. Maybe Michigan's looking ahead a little week to Ohio State next week. I don't know. There's another one I'm a little uncomfortable with, but we'll take it. What do we got? The one stat, we got two systems that are hitting at 58%. Both of them, two different systems. So again, with stats, we'll take that one.
All right. The other underdog is Indiana, plus 10.5 at Michigan State, staying in that state of Michigan. So go ahead, talk to us about this one.
Yep. So this one, first of all, a little similar thought process, but Michigan State and Illinois are very different teams. Illinois feels like they're running out of steam a little bit, but they've had a great season. Michigan State feels like the wheels are just falling off entirely. They've had a very hard season with a whole lot of things other than football making it hard too. So I don't know. I think maybe team losing a little bit of interest. Indiana, I know they're not good, but we can maybe keep it close. It's in division. We got those two systems hitting at 58% and another system that's hitting at 65%. So again, we're trusting the data this week, and that's what we're going with.
All right. Now let's look at our favorites. In the battle of private Christian universities down in the state of Texas, we've got TCU and Baylor. TCU minus 2.5. Is that right?
That's
2.5?
That's correct. Yep, 2.5.
Okay. At the Baylor Bears, talk to me about the Horny Toads.
I don't know. So this one a little bit, I'm hoping for like more clarity in the college football playoff picture, right? If TCU beats Baylor, they're still there. If they lose to Baylor, who the heck knows who's making that, right? That opens a whole can of worms. I know Britt's probably rooting for Baylor here because it helps Tennessee, but I don't know. TCU is good. Sonny Dykes feels exciting to me. I think that they know what's on the line here. So 3 is under the field goal, so I feel a little bit more comfortable with that. So, yeah, I'm going to close my eyes, seeing who I think is going to win. I think TCU can win this game, so I'll take the 2.5.
All right, and we've got USC minus 2.5 at UCLA.
Yeah, another one where like I'm just hoping for clarity in the college football playoff world. The Pac-12 is just cannibalizing themselves all the time now, right? Like even UCLA losing to Arizona last week, like that's a head scratcher. So I understand they're coming off a bad week and it might be a little dicey betting against them. But again, one of the first things we did in the show is we bet on
Chip Kelly.
On Chip Kelly, and we bet on Dabo Sweeney. Same thing. We're betting on a good coach with Lincoln Riley. This is a small enough spread that I feel comfortable with it. Same thing as TCU. They know what's on the line. I think they'll be motivated. So we'll take this, and shout out Tanner, USC minus 2.5.
Fighting Lincoln Riley's. All right, now that brings us to our coin flip game. That's the Let George Decide. Let George Decide game of the week, brought to you by Vintage Rosewood Soap, a small business mother-daughter team creating nourishing, all-natural skin care products. Follow them on the Book of Faces or Instagram at vintage_rosewood_soap to view and to order some amazing products. The Let George Decide game of the week comes to you from the state of Montana, where there's at least 10 people who live in that state and probably not more. And they have 2 universities. Who knew that there were 2 universities in the state of Montana? Like, I don't know how you'd have 2 universities when there are 10 people in the state. But here we go. We got Montana at Montana State. Montana, you are going to be heads. Montana State, you are going to be tails. So let's see what we've got here. It is tails. Montana State, you're winning this week. George is 1-0. Let's make it 2-0, Montana State.
I don't even know the mascot, but go Montana State.
Yeah, go Montana State. We have no idea who you are, and if you have more than, like, you can't have more than 10,000 kids enrolled at Montana State. Like, it's
so college game day. They got college game day this week.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's why I put it on here.
The state of Montana, you have been doubled in like entire population with college game day headed your way.
Right.
All right, nephew, send us out with our outro.
Yeah, again, we had our first positive week. Our first positive week last week. We're gonna try to build some momentum. I know the season's not gonna be positive for the show, but we're gonna try to get as close as we can, right?
We're going to just build on last week. All right, thanks everybody for watching all the way to the end. Like, subscribe, and all those things, and we will see you guys next week.
Thank you.